Welcome to Are We Gonna Talk About It with Ty
and Taryn. It is a space where we have candid conversations surrounding
faith, marriage,
family, and ministry.
Here we go.
All right. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
To break my glass. Okay.
What's up, everybody? We want to welcome y'all to Are We Gonna Talk About It?
Hey, everyone.
With
Welcome
Ty
back. And Taryn.
And today we have some very special guests. A couple that we've been wanting to get on the show for a long time. For a while now.
Hey.
An amazing couple that I have personally known for some years now. And they reminded me before the show that it's been 20-something years. But I'm going to take the blame for that.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to act like they ain't been traveling around the world like superstars.
Wow. Shots fired.
I'm messing with y'all. But today we have very special guests, Kadero and Hope. If you guys can jump in and just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hey, wow. Well, first of all, thank y'all for having us, man.
Yes.
We appreciate it. We are fans from afar for sure.
Definitely.
And yeah, we've been knowing, man, Ty, we've been knowing each other for a long time, and then with this one even longer.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's been wild. But again, Hope, Kadero, we're originally from Richmond, Virginia. But we living out in Tulsa, Oklahoma now. Most folks kind of recognize, as you said, stars. That some recognize us from our
y'all
brand.
Superstars.
Please.
Yeah, all over the socials.
I'm just glad that y'all made time for the small people.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Thank you.
So yeah, we have our brand that we started in 2020, Every Day with H&K, where we were just a married couple, just bringing love and laughter to the homes of folks especially during the time that was tough in 2020 during the pandemic. But we kept it going, and we just want to continue to just pour out God's love, and with that love, there's got to be some laughter in there, because we all need moments of laughter. We all need moments of just joy, and a cheerful heart. So we're excited to be here. We're excited for all this, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank y'all for y'all's time. And I'm glad you said some of that too about people needing it, because and I don't want to share too much of it, but maybe y'all can share it. But I noticed that during the pandemic, y'all's followers were shooting up like crazy. It'd be like one post be like, yeah, we got 5,000. And then the next day it'd be like, yeah, we got 15,000. Then the next day, almost overnight, it seemed like we had 100,000. But it was during a space and time where people needed it the most.
Yeah.
And to me, because I know y'all personally, I'm like, this is not a fluke. Like this ain't just somebody just trying to make people laugh or just trying to build an audience. I'm like, I'm telling her, I'm like, this is them.
Yeah.
Like, this is them. Like, so what was y'all's experience with that, maybe through the pandemic or maybe even before the pandemic, of how that kind of transition went?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. Okay. So right before that started, we were trying to conceive and have a baby. And so we were going through like IVF and like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Long story short, we just surrendered to God, and I was like, God, whatever you have for us, whenever you want us to get pregnant, it's going to be on you. And so that actually, when the pandemic started, and it was like, okay, we're bored and we need to do some things because we're around each other all the time. I was like, we're just tired of looking at each other. Like, we need something else to do. But I always say, like, that was also a time for me to get my laughter back, because I had went into like this dark space of, just being tired of IVF and giving up and like all this stuff. So we started that, and we were like, okay, let's just do something. So we saw TikTok and we're like, oh yeah, we could do that. And we were like, let's just record. And so we had previously had Every Day with H&K, but it was not our natural selves. It was like, oh, date night. Here's our plate. Like, here's our vacation.
The aesthetics,
right? And I was like, okay, that just took too much work. So we were like, let's just upload this dance and see what happens. And it started catching fire. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I remember we were so hyped when we reached 500 followers. We created this big post. We was like, oh, snap, like 500 people. But it was just so cool when we started seeing the comments and people were like, y'all are helping me out of depression, or my dad just passed away and I needed to laugh. Like, just different things. And I was like, Kadero, we like maybe onto something. Like if we could do this full time, get paid and just make people laugh, like why not? So
Right.
And the thought of getting paid wasn't even
it
a
wasn't a
thing.
thought.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a thought. We didn't know like influence. Like I worked in athletics. Hope was a administrative assistant, executive
Yeah.
assistant. So it's like we didn't know this world, but then we
Still
get
learning
a
it.
deal that says, "Hey, we want to pay you upper 5 figures to
Yeah.
promote this brand." We was like, "Hold on, you want to do
You
what?
do what? You do what?
What?
Y'all want to pay us
When
just
I
to
tell
make a
you,
video?"
we ran around that small apartment shouting and praising God, because the funny thing was they were like, "Oh, what's y'all's rate?" And we've always heard people say, "No, you ask them what's their budget." So we were like, "Well, we had a rate in mind, but ours was like under 10,000, like
Uh-huh.
really low." So when they came back with the upper 5 figures, we were like, "What did we just tap into? Like, you can make money doing this."
And then look, then the negotiations start. Well, can you do this? And the budget
Ah.
just to see, like, what y'all doing?
It was like,
and
no.
they was no, but we can meet here. We
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the story is that exactly what Hope talked about, but she kind of
brushed
skirted
over
over
because it's been too much.
yeah, we try not to spend too much, but at the end of the day, that's our testimony. That
Yeah.
miracle of our child is a testimony because we were dealing with infertility for 11 years.
Yeah.
And so we did all the oral treatments, IUI, IVF, 2 cycles, 2 miscarriages, both cycles, one IVF cycle failed, one took, but then we miscarried at 6 months. So that was the end of 2019 when we was like, God, we don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And we gave it like total surrender.
Yeah.
And so it was like in that moment during that period of, okay, God, we just waiting on what you gonna do. That's when this was birthed. Like this became our baby.
Yeah.
And like she said,
Wow.
she got her laughter back in that moment. I got my laughter to see, because at the end of the day, we are one. So I'm seeing that joy in her come back. It's giving me joy. I'm sitting here dancing with my wife. Like we just being, like you said, we're being us. And I think that's always been important to us, for people to look at us and see that we are authentic. For people
Yeah.
like you, old friends, like my roommate, he'd be like, "Oh, that's Hope and Darrow." Like they
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
them. Like that, like they be like, "Oh, you know them?" Yeah, that's always been them. Like
That's
they
them.
just
Yeah.
Good.
like that. And that's what we always want to bestow to our audience, to our followers, our family, whoever's watching. We consider the community. And so that's what we always want to do.
Yeah. Look, man, y'all hit on a lot just now, and I kind of wanted to stick a pin there right when she talked about the pregnancy process and y'all finding joy in that, because I don't think there's a lot of people that can still laugh in that process. And there are a lot of people who are going through that right now, and I'm sure that y'all probably know many people and probably hear all the stories and testimonies like, "Hey, I'm dealing with that now," and they're encouraged by it. Maybe y'all can talk to how maybe like this is ministry. You know what I mean? The laughter, the joy, the excitement, like showing people your marriage. They're seeing the highs, but then y'all also showing them the lows of everything as well. You know, some people may look at it like, "Oh, this is clickbait. Oh, they just trying to get followers. Oh, they just trying to get views. Oh, they're not really." We've had people tell us, "Are y'all really that happy?
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all really that?" And it's like, yeah,
Right.
like y'all not.
It does exist.
Happiness does
It
exist.
does exist.
Yeah. So like speak to that part, how like it's still ministry, but it doesn't look like typical podium
Right.
set up a room and we're gonna pull out the
Right.
Bible. Like speak to that part.
Yeah.
I think that's funny because like that goes back to, man, when we were all kids, and I remember Pastor Michael May just talking about prophesying like we were gonna have a marriage that was gonna be an example to so many.
Wow.
And I've had like, you gonna preach the word, and I'm like, I don't want to be no pastor, God. Like, that ain't my lane.
No.
But to
I said
see,
the same thing. Let me just say that.
but to see all these years later, marriage has always been our first ministry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to see this vein that we're in, to say, okay, this is the lane I want you in, it may not be behind a pulpit,
Mhm.
but you're gonna
Yeah.
be teaching the word somewhere, somehow, some
good.
way. Like, and to see doors open for those opportunities to come where people are interviewing us, but the word of God is coming out.
Coming out.
the love of God is coming out. And I think we were like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
is there's something beautiful to say I can minister to people and speak life into people and do something I love and get paid. Like this is
Right.
one big thing. Like God's like, I can do it all.
Yeah.
Say
Let me
that.
be the source.
Yeah.
Let me be the
Yes.
source.
That's when it all started popping off.
Yeah.
Is when we was like, okay, God, you're leading this ship.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's
Wow.
always moments, even in now, where we're like, we need to withdraw and get back to our source to make sure are we stand in our lane, Lord, because
Yeah.
we never want to come out of your under your hand.
yeah.
Because we like, oh, we got big, we doing this. Let's start. Nah, we got to make sure we're in our prayer time together individually to make sure we're like, all right, God, what do you want us to do next?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes just we don't know. And
Yeah.
social media is so fickle, like
Mhm.
trends and this. And sometimes we
Can't keep
can't
up.
follow the trends. There's
Right.
times where we can and we like, oh,
That's
now
not us.
we look back, now it's not us. Like,
Yeah.
or we look back at it and be like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't. That was a little risque. Maybe we shouldn't. Like, but
Yeah.
because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we always are very mindful in that moment to say, like, all right, this is ministry. It's not in the four walls of a church,
Yeah.
but the church is the people.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we message out to the people. And so we always want to make sure we're doing that.
I like what you all said about being able to withdraw and,
That's what I was
not
about to
just
say.
staying like so in the hustle phase of trying to
Okay.
create content and all that, but knowing within, okay, it's time for us to go. We need to go
Mhm.
pray. We need to pull away. I don't know if I saw recently, didn't you all do that where you took some time away and regroup? Can y'all tell us a little bit about that?
I am huge on that because
Yeah.
I'm always like social media. We were there before social media, right? Like our marriage and like our relationship and things like that. And I tell Kadero all the time, like I never wanted to get to a point where social media is now first in our life. And I'm like, there has to be some sort of healthy balance. So I know like during fast at the beginning of the year, like normally we'll withdraw and like we'll fast and pray and do all of that stuff. But it's just times that God's caused us to be like, just stop. Like you don't have to, if my hand is on it, you're gonna get to where you're supposed to go. So it's
Come
like you
on.
don't have to hustle and bustle and work hard in our case. Like some people believe in that, but for us, it's like if he's called us to it, he's gonna bring us to it, right? So it's like, why do all that hard sweat and try to keep up and all of that stuff when it's like, no, just the pace of grace, like just
The
keep
pace of
walking
grace.
Pace of
Yeah,
and
grace.
just doing what I tell you to do. As long as you're obedient, like you're gonna get to exactly where you're supposed to be.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of our take on it. It's
Yeah.
like God, just have your way, and like
Yeah.
And every day we want to be more like Jesus, right? And if you look
Yes.
at the word, Jesus always withdrew first.
yeah,
Mhm.
He stepped away. Usually a miracle happened, then he withdrew.
Mhm.
And he came back and miracles happen. So it's like for us, if we want to see God do these big things in our life, let's withdraw.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
Recharge.
recharge. Let's get in his word. Let's pray. Let's see what we hear from him. And then we come back out with something. And then when we notice, oh, that just popped off. That just
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
45 million views.
Yeah.
Like that's how we felt like in the period where it was before we even did these challenges, that wasn't our thing.
Yeah.
We was not in it. We came back, we saw this challenge, and it was like, let's do this. And we got 45 million views
Yeah.
between Instagram and Facebook. And it's like, and we literally grew 100,000 within 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that's like, okay, all
It's
right.
the obedience.
The obedience.
But now it's like
Obedience.
where I feel like we gotta tell people like, oh, okay, we're about to withdraw because people would be like, are y'all okay?
Uh-huh.
And I mean, the DMs is like people think somebody's ill or something. Like I don't know. So I'm like, maybe
Y'all marriage all right?
Marriage
Is it still H&K?
Marriage
What's
all
up?
right. All right.
Listen, but that's what I love about y'all though, is like I feel like that's integrity at the same time, because I think something like this will have the tendency to maybe change people. You know what I mean? It's like you start feeling yourself a little bit. Or maybe you start to give in to what you said about the trends. You see certain trends and it's just like, oh, let's do this. This will grow it even more. This will give us an even bigger platform. But I think that speaks to y'all's integrity, that who you were before you started, you're the same person in a good way. You know what I mean? But it speaks to that integrity because you can still have your time and your space to yourself to build, to grow yourself.
Yeah.
I think sometimes on social media, people put on social media that they're withdrawing almost like as a show of like, oh, I'm deep, I'm spiritual. I'm gonna fast for a few days and I'll be back.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes people do need to see you do that, because people who are watching y'all, then it's a sign to them like, oh, well, maybe I should take a break for a little while too. You know what I mean? Like, it's a reminder to them like, hey, we refresh. Y'all should probably refresh too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it speaks to just kind of the heart of who you are, and everything you do, obviously, on this platform is an example. So like, people are following. People see the trends. Like, some things you don't even have to say, but they just like, I saw them do it. I want that kind of love. Black love is beautiful. Black love is beautiful. Can y'all tell us about a moment that maybe laughter brought y'all through a hard time? I know y'all shared with the pregnancy and the in vitro and all of that. But can you tell us about a moment where maybe laughter brought you through some challenging moments?
Maybe some disagreements, or like, you know how that goes in marriage, of course. But just some of that.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I'll give you one while y'all thinking. I'll give y'all a second to process it. But for example, like, we when we have challenging moments, many times I can break the ice by just simply saying, "You want something to eat? You hungry?" Or for ours is popcorn. If I pull out the popcorn, you better know we good. We good.
We good. Popcorn. Let's go.
We good.
Movie night.
We laugh about it and we move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll say this then. I don't know if you need to put TPMA across this. I know one time we had heard this somewhere, and so I was like, let's just try it. So we were in the heat of an argument, or we call what, heated fellowship.
Heated fellowship.
Yeah,
Heat of fellowship. I done learned something new today. I love it. I'm taking it.
Yeah, we're in heated fellowship. And we learned, just drop your clothes. And
hey, I like that.
Can you argue?
Can you argue?
And then you're naked.
Right? So we were arguing, just drop the clothes. And we were like, and then
I guess it just ain't that serious.
Right? It just brought a smile.
What was you? What
was we
that
talking
about
about?
again?
Hold on. Let me make a note. Let me make a note.
Drop the clothes. Put that in there.
It worked. And it just caused us to laugh. And I was just like, okay, well, I know we can't do that every time, but in that one moment, it was.
But it worked for that. That's great.
It worked.
That is hilarious.
I like that.
I don't think. Have y'all made a video about that?
No, we haven't.
I don't know.
No. You wouldn't actually, obviously, but I'm sure that there is a creative and comedic way
there you go.
that you can get the point across.
That big old sensor or something.
Yeah, have the back of the. There we go. Yeah.
Hey, that's good marriage advice.
That is very good marriage.
Yeah.
That is great marriage advice. One of the things that I could appreciate about our marriage counseling when we got married is our counsel was very, very raw, very graphic, and very realistic about what marriage would look like and what you can expect. And so I think in order to help marriages, honestly, and that's what I love about y'all's videos as well, in order to help marriages, like, sometimes you have to be real about what marriage looks like, but for people to be able to experience the lighter side of it, it makes it a little bit easier for them to digest.
So
you get ready.
I want to ask, I guess both of you always had a humorous side, or was one more humorous than the other? I know I read in your bio that you all met in middle school and then did drama in high school. And I know drama, I took drama class, and I know it brings out, like, the awkwardness, it brings out the humor. And so you all, I guess, got pretty familiar with one another when it comes to that. But are you all balanced with
Hold on. Before you ask that question, let's just take a vote real quick. Which one you think is the most silly? Like, which one you think probably starts or causes or ignites the humor?
Kadero.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Hope.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask y'all to answer. We gotta get to your
funniest. I guess that's the question.
Yeah.
I feel like we always argue on who's the funniest. But I will say this. I feel
start.
I would say who starts it.
I'd say I'm the funniest to keep it, but the start is this one.
Oh,
Absolutely.
She's gonna start it. For sure.
Absolutely.
You're gonna always start. I will just keep it going, and oh man,
that's teamwork.
Get out of here.
Teamwork.
Yeah,
Teamwork. That's great.
Yeah, it's like the slingshot move. Like boom, here, this is yours.
Right here.
But
Yeah.
Hope, especially like, because one thing about Hope that most people don't know, and they be like, really? Is she's an introvert? Like,
I really am.
she is
Really?
Like,
really, I really am.
Like the moments after gatherings, if you
like give me my bed,
give her a bed, she'll go in the room.
I'll just start rocking.
It was a lot. That was a lot. So much energy.
Yeah.
Once you get to like know her and your family, then you start seeing that side come out.
Yeah.
But like it drains her. But once she's there, she will start. And like one of those
but
funny
I feel like I'm more of a quiet funny. Like I feel like he's like a loud, like just
put it out there.
Put it out there. Where I kind of just like say something.
I feel like Hope is the type that it'll just be, she'll make one little sound. Y'all can be out in public, somebody will walk by and she'll just be like, that one little sound, you know too. You know too.
It's this, huh?
And it says everything.
And I know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things we would do. I would say, like, well, growing up, even from when we were high school, was going to the mall and sitting in the food court.
Yeah. People watching.
People watch. And I mean, create scenarios. Like we know.
Yes.
We do
a whole situation.
Yes, it's a whole situation.
We do the same thing.
People can do together with one another. If you're like looking for a funny moment, do something simple like that. Go to the mall, create scenarios for the people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's what you can come up with.
Right.
So does marriage feel easy to y'all?
It does. I mean, I'm not going to negate the fact that there are definitely hard times. Like,
absolutely,
we're not going to just upload that. Like,
yeah,
right. But I feel like for the most part, because our foundation has been friendship, like it is very easy to do life with Kadero, and it's just like I feel like we keep each other grounded. Like we're just always a support for each other, so it feels good. It's easy. Like sometimes I just thank God that we don't deal with a lot of things we get DM'd about. I'm like, my God, like. Some people are going through it, and I'm like,
absolutely,
that's not our situation. But yeah, it does seem easy. I feel like it's easy for you.
Yeah, we just drop our clothes.
No, we are good. I think, like you said, it is easy. I think our foundation is firm. I think God is our foundation. Friendship is our foundation. Having those core values in our life of honesty and trust and all those type of things, and having fun. Having those, making sure that those are the pillars under that foundation makes every day easy with her. Like it's not stressful. It's not like I'm waking up like, God, no, it's none of that at all. And I think that's what a lot of people have to find. Look at the pillars of their core values of their relationship. Look at the foundation. It's God the first thing, because if neither one of you got a relationship, where's the joy coming from? Where's the love coming from? Because if you don't have that, then you trying to come from your own tank that we don't have it. And then you're looking at your spouse,
looking at it from
to bring that to do that, and they putting too much pressure, and they're not equipped to do it. Yeah, they're not equipped to do that.
Yeah,
that's really good. Y'all on here preaching.
I know. It's so good though, and I love it because it's genuine, it's authentic, it's who you are, and it just comes out. And so I definitely appreciate that. So for a couple who not really, they may not be really acquainted with like humor and laughter, what would your advice be to them?
No, I feel like everybody has a little sense of humor. Like nobody could just be serious all their life, right? So I feel like find out, like tap into that, like figure it out. Like what is your what gets you going? What makes you laugh? And just share that with your spouse, and then kind of allow them that space to tap into it with you, and like bring things to you that's funny. I don't know. I feel like everybody nowadays just walks around serious. And it's like, go back to childhood you that like love to play or like that love to
That's
do,
good.
fun things. And we do that often. Like, I mean, date nights, forget the dinner. Give me Dave and Buster's or like bowling or like Blaze Attack or something. And it's like, just go back to what made you feel good and laugh and just kind of experience that as adults.
I always love when she mentions the child you,
Mhm.
because it almost reminds me of, that childlike faith. There was
Yeah.
something different about our imagination when we were
Mhm.
kids before it got tainted by life, right?
Yeah.
So what was that for you as an individual, as a kid, that childlike faith of, yo, this is funny, I love this. Like,
Yeah.
those are the moments that you can share with your spouse to be like, yo, this is funny. Or just nowadays, just sharing videos. There's something you've probably seen on the internet that made you
Yeah.
laugh. Like,
Yeah.
sharing those moments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's not funny, then you kind of make a joke that, oh, so you just that serious? Like, you
Uh-huh.
kind of
Right.
sarcasm to bring out some laughter in it.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, I'm sure y'all do this as well, man. But I'm sending her like 10 videos a day.
Yeah.
Just like,
Did you get the video? Did you get
no,
the video?
yeah, exactly.
No, I didn't.
Exactly. I want to ask y'all this though. So I guess, do you ever feel like if I am too silly or too goofy, people won't take me seriously? And let me give you maybe a little bit of context or background. I think when we first got married, we were really good friends. We silly around each other and all of that. But then I just had this thought like, man, if I open up too much of my silly side, is she not going to respect me as a husband, as a man, or even out in public? I'm similar to you, Hope, where I'm just like, I love being around people, but at the same time, it's like I need my space, and I don't want to. I just don't open up in front of everybody like that. It took us a very long time, even for us to get this podcast going, or even are we going to talk about it or
Anything
enjoy
dealing with social.
anything dealing with social? It took. She was the one that had to push
I
me.
was like, let's go, we can do this.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
like, is it a challenge maybe within your marriage, but then even putting your marriage on display in front of the world with people not taking you seriously because maybe you joke so much? Or what's y'all's experience with that?
No, I feel like we are a good balance as far as
Okay.
knowing when to turn it off and when to keep it. Now, if it's just me and Kadero, we can get it going all day. Like, I think we're at the point that like we know each other's humor and like we respect each other's humor. I feel like there has been times maybe when we're out and I'm like, all right, babe, like let's drop back just a little bit.
Because that's her side of like, I ain't ready to do all this today. Like,
Ah.
Yeah.
I want me, you and me, like,
Yeah.
so when you see somebody, I don't need you to be all that right now. Cause I know that myself is the life party. Like, hey, you love us,
Yeah.
we love you. Yeah. But you like,
All right.
I don't really know
Dial it back.
you. Let's
Yeah. Reel it back in. Reel it back. Yeah, but I do feel like putting it out on display has been definitely a faith move.
Mhm.
Especially for me, because I mean, Kadero said I'm an introvert. I really don't like talking either. Like I'm still trying to find my voice and like, do people even care what I have to say? Like just getting to that point of like being confident with my words. But I feel like it's more like God is saying, this is what I've called you to. So I just need you to obey whether you want to do it or not. So it's like, okay. So it is uncomfortable and I'm trying to walk in that uncomfortability, if that's word, right? That's
We'll
word.
take it.
So it's challenging. And I think like Kadero said, like I have to mentally be like, okay, the camera's not here because I'm not a
Yeah.
person at all. So it's hard for me. I feel like it's easier for you though to just is it easier?
Yeah, I think it's easier for me. I think one thing that's noticeable sometimes is we do so much funny. So when we do bring something serious to the table, even on social media, and you see the views, you're like,
Instagram don't like that.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes serious stuff.
Marriage stuff right
Yeah.
now, and now only got like 10 likes. Like, what's up with that? Like, so you're like, because they're so used to it. But at the same time, Hope talked about even when we're taking our time, all right, God, what do you want? And it's like, I need you to present this. It's
Ooh.
now obedience.
Yeah.
So what is our success look like? Is it numbers
Ooh.
or is it obedience?
Right.
Because I can take whatever and throw it to the masses.
Yeah.
But I need you to be obedient in that manner. So I think where we're finding is, okay, when we need to be serious, we need to have those real talks.
Yeah.
Just let it be, because it could just be one person. Remember, I left the 99 to get the one. So
absolutely,
if it's just the one, that's all I asked you to do. So were you be that moment, or were you disobedient and now we done left them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you all, as far as talking, you have something special coming out. And so I wanted you to share a little bit about that, the podcast, because now you're going to be speaking a whole lot more on that platform. So tell us about it.
So again, talking about something that like we tried to start. Hope was like, I don't know, like.
Well, yeah, because Kadero was like, oh, I think we should start up our podcast again. And so we literally had taped like 2 to 3 episodes. But then God was like, nope, that ain't it. And I was like, I was afraid to tell him, because I was like, we done did all this work already.
We did this work. Like, I'm like, I'm sitting here getting the frame. I've been getting the sound right for the last 3 episodes, and you telling me no? Like,
what you mean? No.
And Kadero was like, well, when we gonna get in front of the people? Like, we need to get in front of the people. And I'm like, Kadero, I don't know. I just feel like it's not the right time for us to come out with, our own podcast again.
Yeah.
And so literally we go to dinner with this couple, and we've always been wanting to just catch up with them. And so we're just having good conversation and like good fellowship. And something was birthed at that dinner. And I jokingly was like, all right, so when we going on tour, when we gonna start a podcast? And everybody just stopped and was like, yo, like,
wait a minute.
Like you may be on to something, right? And it was like it's something that Kadero and this other gentleman have that I was like, the world just needs to hear it. And the wives, we know we have our part too, but I feel like it's something with men as well that is very important. But we started a podcast called The Marriage Altar, and it drops on May 1st. That's right. And I know, so excited. But we spell the Marriage Altar Altaer. And the reason for that, you want to go into?
Yeah, the reason for that is, of course, the altar. So an altar is a place of worship. Marriage is worshiping. Like, we come to the marriage altar to sacrifice something. We're sacrificing ourselves. And in any place, sex, that's a form of worship, because God, and that's the ATAR.
Yes.
ER is like the altering, like, so Taylor alters something. So he needs to fix something to fit what it needs to be. So as individuals, we have to alter ourselves to fit what needs to be the purpose of our marriage. So what is the purpose? You figure out that purpose of marriage, and then now you have to alter yourself to fit that and what God's called you to be. So that's kind of the altar, the altar piece of the marriage altar, man. But,
and I will say this, it's totally different from Every Day with H&K. So like, we definitely, you see the laughs and all that stuff, but on the marriage altar, we get very real, very raw, very vulnerable, which I think is a good balance, but we also bring the word behind it as well to encourage. So it's definitely a different side, which I'm still trying to get comfortable with, because I'm like, people, well, let's just make them laugh. And I'm like, oh, we having hard conversations. It makes me sweat a little bit.
Third one, I'm crying on this thing.
Oh man.
It's
I
good.
can't wait. I can't wait to tune in for y'all's podcast. I think it is amazing that y'all are doing this. And I know what y'all saying, it's different from typical H&K on social media. Or even what y'all said about, when y'all do put out marriage tips or more serious things, how it might not be as many views. But how I feel is just what you said, if it's the one, but then also all of the DMs that you guys get with people saying, well, this is what we got going on in our marriage. Hey, pray for us. Hey, reach out. I know y'all get them. I don't have as many followers as y'all got, and I get them. You know what I mean? And so, like, for those people, y'all know marriages are struggling. People out here hurting, and they're not talking about it. But people are looking for resources to find couples, and they're not just looking for just anybody. They're going on social media looking for it, and they're like, you know what? I like them. They're a good couple. They love each other. Let me hear what they got to say. So even if it's not your whole following from social media following you over there, it's so many other people that are looking for, you know what I mean, what y'all have to share and are going to hear it from y'all because of who you are and your personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff that they might not hear from us. They might be like, Ty and Taryn a little bit too serious. They're a little bit too polished, or they're pastors. Anytime you got that hanging over your head, and then it's just like, yeah, I don't want to hear it. But
That's true.
from y'all, it's like, you know what I mean? You almost disarm people automatically because like they're not pastors, they're not over top of a church, they don't got a ministry. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna listen. They're just like me. And y'all give them the same thing that maybe we would have said, but they hear it in a different way that they can receive it. So we're excited about y'all's podcast. We're excited about y'all's marriage. We're excited about your baby girl. We're excited about all of the things that y'all have done up to this point. But then I just wouldn't be surprised to see it blow up even more. Like I like it wouldn't shock me at all. Even with all of the success that y'all have achieved up to this point, I tell her all the time, like, man, that's them. Like, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't shock me. Like when you see authentic people, authentic couples, nothing surprises me about that success. And I think more people need to see. And so, and that was kind of the main reason, one of the biggest reasons we wanted to have y'all on the show today. Anyways, like, man, we need more couples to find more couples.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need
That's
more
so
people to find couples just like y'all that are going to be able to help them and encourage them in their marriage process, their highs and lows and all of that.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that was it. But I was gonna say to so that they can find them. Tell them where they can find you.
Please, before we finish.
Yeah, we are on all social media platforms. Our website is everydaywithhk.com, and then all our social media handles everydaywithhk. And then of course, then when the marriage altar drops, you can follow and subscribe now. But it's at the marriage altar, and that's ALTAER.
Hey.
Bet. Well, so we'll put it in our show notes as well. And so wherever everybody's streaming from today, just check out the notes below. You can click on the links, go to their website, subscribe, follow, like, comment, do all of the things to be able to support this amazing couple. We sign off.
Yes.
Because they're incredible people. Listen, man, even though we are miles and miles apart, know that we love y'all, we support y'all. Anything that we can do to encourage, to push, to help y'all, you already know y'all can hit us up. And I'm looking forward to the day that our paths will cross in person, that we can catch up.
Guess we're gonna have to come to Oklahoma.
Guess we're gonna have to come
We're
out.
gonna go we coming to Tulsa.
That part. Y'all are welcome anytime. Thank y'all for having us. It is a joy and a pleasure. Yeah, we wish you guys nothing but the best. We know you guys are doing y'all's thing, and we're so proud of you guys and love you guys.
I come out to Charlotte and visit.
I know.
Yeah, come through. You know, Charlotte, I know y'all said y'all was settled in Tulsa, but nobody's safe. Charlotte is an amazing place to live. It's an amazing place to raise a family. If y'all looking forward to having more children, or maybe getting a dog or something like that, there are dog parks on every block. I mean, it's just
lots of restaurants.
Yeah, man. And and it's a bunch of young professionals who are looking to get married. And so it's a huge market out here for exactly everything that y'all are already doing. And so
I don't think they're buying that, honey.
It's that plug.
It's the plug
for me.
But the funny thing is, Charlotte was on our list. I bet when we were 20, this was 2021, when we were looking, like we knew like we weren't gonna stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
We had baby girl soon. Like we want to move closer to home. Family. It was Atlanta and then Charlotte. So Atlanta we looked at and it was like we
this
literally
dark cloud.
Both of us.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
We were looking individually and we came back. She's like, what you feel? And I was like, Atlanta ain't it. I don't know.
Wow.
It was like a hard no.
It was a hard no. Then it was like Charlotte. And it was like, okay, this could be cool. Then I got this like, what do you think about Tulsa, Oklahoma? She was like, we ain't moving back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, because
we had been in Oklahoma before for school when I was in school.
Right. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So we were in Norman. So she was like, I was like, well, you know, we've been watching Transformation anyway online, and we've always moved for work. Like, why not move for a ministry that we know we head by? But she's like, yeah, I know, but I'm good watching online. We can get back easy. She had 3 dreams, and her last dream, God was like, "Y'all supposed to move to Tulsa."
See?
Wow. Well,
And
there
it
you
was
have
just
it.
one of them.
And when I tell you I was shaking when I had to tell Kadero, because God was like, now you got to tell your husband what I told you.
Ooh.
I was like, I don't want to tell him. I know he's gonna be like, all right, well, we got to pack.
Yep. And we just bought our condo in Chicago. We hadn't been in
Yeah.
it a year, and we
Yeah.
ended up selling it to move to just be obedient and move out here.
Gosh.
Oh,
Hey,
but
I love
that's the
that.
word right there.
Obedience.
Obedience.
Mhm.
Yes.
Obedience. Yeah.
Mhm.
But man, it's something about being in the right place and knowing that you're in the right city at the right place and knowing that God has his hand on it.
Yeah.
Like that for me, that's all I need.
Yep.
It come with
Right.
challenges, of course, but if you know
Right.
you're in the right place, it's like, all right, God, you got us.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm glad y'all shared even that last night because
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
hoping that helps somebody as well. So thank y'all
Thank
again
y'all so
for being on the
much.
show. Thank you so much for your time. We love y'all. We support y'all. And until next time,
Until next time.
we're signing off.
Right.
Yep. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you all for joining us and listening.